Shalom, call hello, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I just had a dream about somebody that I knew. They had a requirement for work, and one of those requirements was to get a chip by 2021, which is right around the corner, so it was spiritual. So I got Leviticus 19:28. It says, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor put any marks upon you. I am the Lord." So you shouldn't have any kind of marks on you. That goes for just anything going into your skin that is going to make any type of mark on you. So then right here is Revelation 13:16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." So that he is referring to the let's read the full chapter. Is referring to the beast. That he is referring to Esau, Edom. It says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name." So the name or the number of that man is 603 which is 666. But in receiving that mark, that's like putting your total trust in this man, as we got right here in Isaiah 30. It says, let me start from verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." They're taking counsel from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. It says, "But not of me, and that cover what they covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." So 2/3 are just out here sinning. It says that walk to go down into Egypt. Egypt is synonymous with oppression, so they're going down to our oppressors. And it says, "Have not asked at my mouth." And how do you ask at the Lord's mouth? Through his men, through the prophets. It says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So it says strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and his power has a limit. So they put in their total trust in man. It says, "And to trust in the shadow of Egypt, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame." Why? Again, because his power has a limit. He's a man. He's mortal. And it says, "And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion." And, go back to verse 3. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." And they put in their trust in the shadow of Egypt by getting that chip. But if you go to Isaiah 33:6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." So if you go back to verse 1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." So they don't want to take the Lord's counsel through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Then it says, "And cover with the covering, but not of my spirit." So again, they're not listening to the words of the Lord. And it says, you go down to verse 2, it says that walk down to go into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. So they not taking, they rejecting the men of the Lord as well. All right, and then the same people that put their trust into this system are going to receive Revelation 14:10. But I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, "And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." And one major way that she did that is Revelation 13:16. "He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Because that's putting your total trust into the strength of Pharaoh. And there's so many different ways you can attack that, but that shows a lack of faith. And again, you putting your trust totally in the strength of Pharaoh and in a man's hands, man, a mortal's hands. So all right, verse 9, it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark as we were instructed not to do. And Leviticus 19:28, and all, right here too, because it tells us the punishment for it in verse 10. But I'm gonna finish this. It says, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right. So, we are instructed not to do these things. When I say we, I'm talking about you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and the confusion of faith spread around the earth. All right. All right. So if you're a part of those that I just listed, Negroes, Latinos, confusion of faith, we got to repent as best we can, because we still in these mortal bodies, and seek the Most High. His name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.